Alright, I'm New Age Server, and I've got a broken laser printer, and I'm going to try to fix it. This is a Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 2200DN. It's got a duplexer and a network card, except the network card is not in it right now. So, first up, let's see what it does. Turn it on. Okay, it's booted. Now let's do a test print. This is the trick. You hold down the button and it prints a demonstration page. Let's see what it does. And the LEDs are now showing a fatal error. Now I fixed one of these earlier. It had the exact same problem as this one, so I know what I'm doing, okay? So I already know what to do. Now I'm just doing a demonstration. So you press both buttons and the lights change to show you what the error is. The attention light and the data light are lit, which means that according to the service manual, that means that the laser scanner assembly is busted, is having the problem. The laser scanner assembly shoots a laser beam onto a drum that gets charged, and that's how the toner gets transferred to the paper, is because the laser puts light and dark spots on a spinning wheel, and that gets pressed onto the paper. And what happened with the previous printer was there's a mirror that spins inside the laser, and it spins to bounce the beam. What happened was it was spinning too slow and it was causing that squeaking. So what we need to do is get in there, take the motor apart, and oil it, and then put the printer back together. Fairly simple fix. So let's go for it. First I need to take the side door off, which gives you access to the ports. Stick it over there. This is where the network card would go. There's a parallel port and a USB port. Now I need to remove the toner. Stick it over here in the background. There's a button right here which releases the cover that accesses the RAM circuits. That whole side door comes off. There. So there's no RAM in it right now. I could add RAM, but the printer runs without RAM. The only advantage with putting RAM in it is it would be able to handle larger amounts of data. I have some RAM for it, but, well, I know somebody who has some RAM, I just need to go get it. So, yeah, taking the side door off. Now, we need to take the back off. So first comes the tray. Lift up the tray, pull it back, just like that. And it releases the tray. And then I need a Phillips head, Phillips screwdriver. There's two screws. There's one here. And, hi. There is one here. There. Put those screws in a little metal tin that I like to put hardware in. There. Now that door can be closed again. Now there's some latches down here. Just take the door and pull it off. Let's take the back cover. It gets a little tricky. Where's the release? Oh, there it is, okay. This back cover, these back covers always get stuck. Come on, release. Okay, let's try a little flathead screwdriver. There, now it's released. Pull that. Oh, it's stuck at the top. Pull that back door off. Eventually we'll get the back door off. There we go. The back cover has been removed from the printer, and there was some grease in there. Yuck. There's a little bit of grease on the inside of that cover from the wheels. There. Now we got the back of the printer open, and you can see the back of the fuser and the duplex page, the duplex section, which the duplexer is down here. This is the fuser right here. So now, I'm going to take the top cover off. A couple of screws. This one. And this one. Those screws. And then there's two more screws on the back. They're under here. Oops, missed. I normally do this on a workbench, but I'm just sitting on the floor. Okay, now, top cover, there's one more part. There's this little latch right here which goes to a trigger mechanism that determines whether the cover is open or not. That needs to be released, so the cover can be removed. There. And that can just be pushed down, out of the way. There. Now to actually remove the cover. There's a lock right, there's a latch right there. There. And there, the cover's off. So this is the inside of the laser printer. This is called the scanner. This is the laser scanner. This is the part that we need to get into. Toner goes right there. I can actually show. Toner goes in right there, right by the laser scanner, and that's where the paper goes. Paper goes through there. So now we need to get the laser scanner out. So first let's unplug it from this PCB. That's the laser scanner. Now this wire is the cooling fan. I'm gonna get it out of the clip. There we go. Cooling fan wire can get out of the way. There. Now we can unscrew the laser scanner. There's 4 screws, like that. That screw is going to stay in there for a moment. There. Now we can lift the laser scanner out. There. Now I'm going to slide the printer out of the way. There. Now we can work on the laser scanner, which is this part right here. That's a danger sticker on it that warns that there is a laser inside and not to look at it while it's powered. Which would be a smart thing to do. It would be a smart thing to not look at it. So we need to remove this cover, which is held on by 6 screws. There. Now the cover comes off. But first this has to be unplugged. Now the cover can come off. Now this is not supposed to be a serviceable part. Generally, generally you're not supposed to service this part. Right here, this is what we need to fix. There's a motor under there. I can feel it. It's got a lot of friction, and that's not good. So we need to get that motor out. So next, let's unplug that wire. Put this little purple wire out of the way for now. Now I'm going to flip it over to the other side. I'm going to pull this cover off right here on the bottom so we can get to the bottom of the motor, which is right there. Now for the really tricky part. In order to do this, I'm going to wear some rubber gloves. The last time I did this, I didn't wear rubber gloves and ended up having to clean the mirrors. I want to try to avoid that now. So I'm going to wear some blue rubber gloves so I don't get finger oil, skin oil all over the mirror. There we go. Now, 4 screws. 4 screws hold the circuit board in. Right, now the circuit board is still snugly fit in there, so we have to push it out from the other side. This is the tricky part that I mentioned. Ow! There, and it landed right in my hand. You see right there, there's a my camera's pretty blurry. There's a mirror right there that spins around really fast. But the motor that is under there is bad. So now we got this little clip right there. And that clip needs to be twisted out of the way. So take some pliers, rotate it. Very carefully remove. No, I can just rotate it, okay. Now, I need to very carefully remove the top of the mirror. I want to do even though I'm wearing rubber gloves, I want to do my best not to touch the mirror. But whatever. Carefully. There! Now I've removed the mirror assembly. And it looks like I'm going to have to clean it anyway. These rubber gloves aren't working. Alright, so now I'm going to carefully put the mirror assembly down right over there. I need a little bit of oil. This is penetrating, well, not penetrating oil, but it's oil that's in a syringe-like thing. It's a little needle. Need a very, very tiny drop in there. Don't need to flood the thing, just need a very small amount of oil in there. There we go, that's better. I'm gonna put the cap back on. Don't know what I'm doing with my right foot. And then I'll take the thing, take the mirror assembly, and first put the mirror assembly back down. Little black clip that goes in there fell out. And now the mirror assembly can go back in. And the little clip can be rotated carefully back into position. There. Now we've lubricated it and spins much better than it did before. There, so now the last step is rubbing alcohol and Q-tips to clean that mirror. So I'll be right back. Welcome back. Oh. I've got rubbing alcohol and Q-tips. Rubbing alcohol from the store brand. It's the store brand at the grocery store I work at. Not because I work there, it's because it's cheap. There, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Hold that mirror still. And coat each side of the hexagon-shaped mirror. Like that. Now, just going to wipe it off. This has to be very clean. If this mirror is not immaculate, then there's going to be smudges on the print. There's going to be smudges on the paper when it prints. There. There, very good. Now this assembly has to go back in. There. It's back in now. Push it down. Make sure it's all the way in. There. Now the mirror assembly is back in, and it's all the way in. There. Gloves off. Now we can put the screws in. Put the thing back together. Put that cap on. There. In the comments, here's a little thing to do. In the comments below, express your opinion on Hewlett-Packard laser printers. What do you think of them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're too expensive? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Say whatever you want. Just don't start flame wars, please. So now the exact opposite is going to happen. I said don't start flame wars. Now there's going to be flame wars, I bet. There we go, all back together. Now, to put the covers back on. First, I'm going to take the little wire, plug that back into the circuit board. There we go. And take the top cover, put that on, loop the wire in. There, perfect. Now I'm just going to put the 6 screws back into the cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get that back in there, out of the way. Okay. Now there's a cover that was on the other. Whoa. Oh, okay. There's a cover that was on the other side now, which went here. Oop, there's a little bit of dust. There we go. Cover that went here, just like that, and was also held on with a screw. And there. That is the now oiled and reassembled scanner. There. Slide the printer back over and put the scanner back in. Tilt it in and set it down, just like that, carefully. There. Let's plug the cables in. Ribbon cable that powers the motor, and the data cable. There. Now for the 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that hold the scanner on. Hold the scanner into the printer. No screensaver. I don't want a screensaver on the computer that I'm using to record this with. Two. Third screw. There we go. And the last screw, which goes in right there. There. Now I'm just going to run the fan wire across again. Back across the cooling fan. plug the cooling fan into the circuit board. There. Now we've got that back in. So, next step is to put the cover back on, the top cover. Set over there. Okay, there's the little tab, the catch from earlier is right here. That's going to be up. You've got to thread it through its little place, little slot that it goes into. I'm going to grab onto it with pliers, like that. Drop the cover down. Then hook the little catch back into place. Hook it back to the door. There we go. Test it. There, it works. Top cover is on. It just needs to be screwed down. One screw and the other screw. Oops, cover's not all the way down on that side. There we go. Now we can put the other screw in. Put down the cover. Close the door, close the tray, and I can do the two screws that go in the back of the printer now. There's the back cover. Now for the back cover. This can go back on. The back cover can go back. Just prop that up. Put my foot underneath it to hold it up. I know it's not very professional, is it? But I don't know, who cares? Back cover goes on a lot easier than it comes off. Let's put the door down. Release it. Put it all the way down. And take the last two screws and screw those in. There. Now I'm not going to put this last cover back on yet because there's a small switch for diagnostics that is in there, and I want to get to it. You can see the LEDs though. It's doing its boot up self-test sequence right now. And it's blinking orange because I did not put the toner in yet. So let's go ahead and do that. There. Self-test. Toner is fine. Now we're going to hit the test button. Down here behind the Jet Direct port, there's a small hole with a switch inside. And when you press the switch, it does a function test of the printer. So, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds a lot nicer now. Sucking in paper. There, test page printed. It's got a bunch of lines on it. It's good as new. Printer is back to normal. So, now we can finish the reassembly. Put the side door on. The ram door is what it's called in the service manual. There, and the port cover. There, printer's back to normal. Let's do a test print. blinks for a bit. This is the demo button. I'll do a service print. I'll do a service tag print. There, now it's going to do a service paper print. I'm going to print the diagnostic page that has all the information, which I accidentally canceled. There we go. You have to press both buttons for it to do it. It's warming up, it's preparing, it's loading the data, and it's about to print. There. LaserJet 2200. Product name. Service ID. Total pages printed 1,183. Pages jammed 1. It thinks there's a. Oh, that's not what it says. It says that there's a page. It says that a page got jammed in the printer at one point. Well, there. And that is how you fix a squeaky fuser motor on a Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 2200DN. Now this is the same, these steps would be the same on the LaserJet 2100DN, and they might be the same on the 2300DN. So, have a great day, everybody.